Hello everyone, so today we are back with our new video and the topic for today is bad bots. So we will cover what are bad bots, what are good bots and what is a normal human traffic on the internet. We will be using the report from Distil Networks, so thanks to them for the analysis done for 2018 bad bot. And before we start, I just want to request you to subscribe to this YouTube channel so that we can continue to make more such useful security videos. So, what are bad bots? Bad bots interact with applications in the same way a legitimate user would, making them harder to prevent. They enable high-speed abuse, misuse and attacks on your websites and APIs. They enable attackers, unsavory competitors and fraudsters to perform a wide array of malicious activities. Such activities include web scraping, competitive data mining, personal and financial data harvesting, brute force login and digital ad fraud, spam, transaction fraud and many other things which we will be covering today. So which all industries are using these bots, be it good or bad bots, and how bad bots are impacting them. So we will be starting with the airline industry. You can find in the news, the first one from Dark Reading, airlines have a big problem with bad bots. Second one from Wall Street Journal, AirHelp adds bots to help handle airline passenger claims for compensation. Third one from Born to Invest, how travel bots are changing the airline industry. So the example of good bot in airline industry would be an online travel agent, aggregators and competitors that use bots to scrap content, including flight information, pricing and seat availability. That's good bots. And while the bad bots would be criminals attempting to access user accounts that contain loyalty program awards and credit card information. So the second industry we will talk about would be e-commerce.
Amazon has dominated the e-commerce market, but Walmart has been making aggressive moves to catch up. Most recently with the purchase of a 77% stake in India's Flipkart for $16 billion.
And in the news, you can see how shopping bots helped create a fashion e-commerce war. So the example of a good bot for e-commerce would be competitors using the bots to aggressively scrap pricing and inventory information. For the bad bot, criminals use them to commit fraud by stealing gift card balances and to access user accounts and credit card information. And the third industry we will talk about will be event ticketing industry.
Jeff Cameron doesn't have a ticket. He's not alone.
What do you think of that? I think it sucks.
It is upsetting. It is really upsetting.
Nobody got tickets.
Jeff was ready at the Ticketmaster site, but the entire tour sells out in mere minutes.
And then in the news you can see that EU Parliament votes to ban use of ticket buying bots. So an example of a good bot would be brokers, scalpers, hospitality agencies and corporations using the bots to check for ticket availability and to purchase available seats to resell on the secondary market, which is bad for the genuine users. But for criminals, they can access user accounts to steal tickets and credit card information for the users. So for any business whose website or mobile application or the API is the unfortunate target of the malicious bots, the story is a little different. Not only does it have to deal with the competitive pricing pressure resulting from the scrapping bots, but it has to maintain an infrastructure uptime and redundancy so that the real customers aren't inconvenienced. So what actually these bad bots do and how does it impact the market? So as you can see on the screen, the first news says price war breaks out in India as Apple Music undercuts Spotify's bottom scrapping prices. So price scrapping. What is scrapping, and how does it impact? So it impacts businesses who show the prices on the internet. Example, e-commerce, gambling, airlines, or travel. So how it hurts the business. So competitors scrap your prices to beat you in the marketplace. You lose the business because your competitor wins the SEO search on the price, and the lifetime value of the customers is gone. How do you know you have a problem with the price scrapping? You see declining conversion rates for your customers. You see your SEO ranking dropping, and unexplained website slowdowns and downtimes usually caused by aggressive scrappers or bots. Another example of what bad bots do is account takeover. So in the news, as you can see, several Chipotle customers have had their accounts stolen. So what kind of industries get impacted by account takeover? It would be any industry with a login page requiring username and a password. And how it hurts the business: stolen credentials tested on your site. If successful, the ramifications are account lockouts, financial frauds, and increased customer complaints affecting customers' loyalty and future revenues. How would you know what are the signs of a problem? Increase in failed logins, increase in customer account lockouts, increase in fraud. Another example of what bad bots can do is a credit card fraud. Again, in the news, you can see 3 men arrested in Tyson's Apple store for credit card fraud. So what these bots can do, and which industries it impact for credit card fraud, would be any industry with a payment process where they use a credit card from the users. How it hurts the business: criminals testing credit card numbers to identify missing data, example expiry date and CVV, which damages the fraud score of the business and increases the customer service cost to process chargebacks. How do you know if you have this credit card fraud problem? You will see rise in credit card frauds on your website. You will see increase in customer support calls. You will see increased chargebacks requested by the customers. Another example of what bad bots can do is a DOS attack. In the news, as you can see, DOS attack against election results portal under investigation in Finland. So every industry is impacted by this, and how it hurts the business: it slows the website performance, causing brownouts or downtime, or it can cause lost revenue from unavailability of the website, and it can damage customer reputation. How do you know if you are impacted by DOS? You will see an abnormal and unexplained spikes in the traffic on particular resources, example login or sign up or product pages, and you'll see increase in customer service complaints while they're trying to access your website. So this chart is from 2018, and it shows bad bot versus good bot versus human traffic. So bad bots were almost 20%, so 1/5 of the internet traffic is bad bots. Then the good bots was 17.5%, and the human traffic, which should be the real traffic which all the business owners want, was 62.1% in 2018. The next chart shows the trend from 2014 to 2018, and you can see that the human traffic have increased, and the bad bot traffic and the good bot traffic have decreased by some percentage. That's good news. Then the next chart shows which industries have the highest number of bad bots, and you can see on the top it's the financial industry and the ticketing industry and then the education industry, which are highly impacted by the amount of bad bot, which is around 40%, 35% up of the total overall traffic on their websites. That's the same chart which shows the bad bots percentage for top 5 industries: financial, ticketing, education, IT and services, and then marketing and advertising. This chart shows that US bad bots are over 50% against the rest of the world. So USA is where the half of the world's bad bots originate, For the 5th year running, the US topped the list of bad bot originating countries. It remains the only bad bot superpower from which more than half, 53.4% of all bad bot traffic originates. Netherlands moved up to the second place with 5.7%, and China dropped from second to third place, responsible for 3.9% of bad bot traffic. So you can see on this screen, Russia is the 9th country generating the bad bots, after USA, Netherlands, China, and other countries. But keep Russia in your mind, and we'll go to the next slide. So the top 5 most blocked countries, the first one is Russia. So Russia is the most blocked country by Distil Networks customers for the second year running. So this research is from Distil Networks, so they have their stats. So it's a bit strange because USA generates most number of the bots, but Russia is the country which is blocked most, and we will tell you why. What is the reason for that? So many companies use geofencing blacklisting to choke off large swaths of unwanted traffic. In some cases, it simply doesn't make sense that foreign visitors would use a given site. So blocking chunks of foreign IP addresses is good hygiene, as they think. And in some situations, customers have suffered attacks from countries that haven't traditionally generated good traffic, so have taken sensible protection measures. So that's why, although America generates a lot of bots, highest, close to 50%, but even then people don't take action against these bots from America, but they think that the traffic coming from Russia, which is unexpected, is actually the bad bots or good bots, and they block those IPs. Because of its notorious status, third of all the blocking requests were preventing access from Russia, which is 32.6%. So if we just see the second place, which is Ukraine, so Russia and Ukraine combined accounted for 48.2% of country-specific block. And for the second running year, US is on the most blocked list, but only for 6.6%, as you can see on the screen. And something about India, it's now the third most blocked country at 15.2%, and it's a significant increase from the previous year, 2017, when it was the 10th most blocked country with 2.1%. On this chart, it says the bad bots reported based on user agent types. So Chrome, Firefox, IE, and Safari of course have the biggest chunk, which is 78%. If it's coming from mobile user agents, that's the second number, it's 13.9%, and other rest of the user agents are only 8%. So most of the bots uses Chrome or Firefox or IE or Safari. We don't have stats to distribute between them, but the browsers are the biggest chunk, the famous browsers. Finally, we want to quickly share how you can detect the bad bot activity, and there are a few points as on the screen. The first one says block or capture the outdated user agents or browsers. So it's pretty obvious that the bots uses old versions, because few of the bots don't update as often as the browsers are updated. So the best on your side or the application side, be it web or mobile application, is to block the traffic from old browsers. So Firefox, Chrome, IE or Safari, if it's currently, if the Chrome version is before version 49 or the Firefox version before 45, then you should block it. Second point is block the known hosting providers which have a bad reputation and proxy services. Although the smart attacker or the bot provider will keep moving to the better data centers or service providers, but the not that sophisticated ones will continue to use the infamous ones like DigitalOcean, GigaNet, OVH hosting. So it's easy to just block these hosting providers. Then few more in the list quickly. Block all access points. If you know which all access points you expect the traffic to come from, only allow that. Next one, carefully evaluate traffic sources. Check your traffic sources so that you know it's expected traffic and not a malicious one. Investigate traffic spikes. If you see sudden spikes on any day, that's obviously a bot. Monitor for failed login attempts. There should be a trigger after the number of failed logins. You should get an alert, or you should block the login attempts. Monitor increase in failed validation of gift card numbers. Pay close attention to public data breaches, and evaluate a bot mitigation solution, which is from this company, Distil Networks, or any other famous company. Okay, so there we close our today's video. If you like it, then share it, and also post comments so that we can improve our videos. Also subscribe, as I said in the starting also, that helps me create more such useful videos. Thank you. See you all in the next video. Bye.